Good afternoon, CoreTv News on the I am Tolu Ojewumi. We start with the update. The ceaseless season of bombing has continued, with Abuja emerging the latest victim. The explosion, which occurred at People's Hotel Brothel, Bayangari in the state capital, claimed 10 lives and left 28 people wounded. Spokesman of the police in the state, Haruna Mohammed, says the blast occurred overnight, but the source was still unknown. The entire building has since been cordoned off and the scene secured. The corpses of the deceased, Mohammed says, had been deposited at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital, Bauchi, same hospital where the 14 injured victims are receiving treatment. CoreTv News learned that 5 people clad in military uniforms executed the attack by detonating explosives and shooting at random, as many gathered to watch the highlights of the ongoing FIFA World Cup at the viewing center located in between the 2-story buildings of the hotel housing the brothel. Meanwhile, the Bauchi State Police Commissioner Lawal Sheikhu says one suspect had been arrested in connection with the attack. He urged members of the public to be security conscious and to observe happenings within their immediate environment. Some of the survivors of Wednesday's bombing of a shopping plaza in Abuja had been transferred to the National Hospital. This is to ensure they get specialist treatment at Nigeria's premier health facility. But 2 of the initial survivors had now died at the hospital, bringing the death toll to 24.
Since the bomb attack on the popular Emma Plaza in the Nigerian capital, medical teams at health facilities like these have been working around the clock to stabilize survivors. Joseph is one of the most stable victims at the National Hospital. He is one of those moved here, and after a few days, he is strong enough to remember what happened on that day.
At that moment, I with one of my brother. So, when my brother is a security there. So immediately I just left him. I heard the sound of bomb blast, and by there I was heading to my cyber cafe. So and I discovered that bomb blast started turning me up and down. So the next thing, I started running from one place to another, and I later found out that my brother is dead and I'm alive. That is why they brought me here.
He is now on his way to full recovery, but his brother, who he was visiting when the bomber struck, did not survive. In spite of his loss, he is still praying for the people who carried out the attack.
To them, so that God should intervene in their life, because it will not favor this country. It's happening everywhere, it's not good. So I'm begging God to intervene them. Already my brother is dead now. Even as I'm alive now, I don't even know what to do, because he's the one feeding me.
Joseph is one of 11 bomb victims still receiving treatment at the National Hospital. Many of them were brought in with burns. Some came with fractured limbs. The hospital management says 2 of the initial survivors have now died.
Well, what I said, in all now, with the 4 transfer from Wuse and the Mitam Hospital, we have 11 here and now. But out of the 11, of course, we've lost about 2 of them. Presently, so we discharge 1. We have 1 in the ICU, and we have other here in the hospital. Others ones are stable. We will most likely will also discharge another 1 later today.
Contact with bomb victims at the National Hospital was restricted. CoreTv allowed access to only 1 ward, but the management is convinced that it's only a matter of days before majority of these survivors are well enough to be back on their feet.
FCT authorities have directed the police to arrest and prosecute anyone found riding power bikes and motorcycles in the Abuja city center. This, according to FCT Minister Bala Mohammed, is part of efforts to stem the tide of terrorism and other crimes. The minister conveyed the directive to the FCT Police Commissioner Joseph Umbu through a letter dated June 27, 2014. FCT authorities reminded the police that a ban on the use of power bikes and motorcycles in the federal capital city was still in force. The reminder, according to the minister, is underscored by the fact that one of the suspected bombers of Emma's Plaza was seen on a power bike by security agents. Mohammed also directed that all security personnel using motorcycles should obtain permits from the FCT Commissioner of Police and the Transportation Secretariat. In the meantime, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has advised Boko Haram fighters to abandon violence against innocent people once and for all, as the Muslim holy month of Ramadan begins. In a goodwill message to Muslims issued by his media office, The former vice president said the war between Boko Haram fighters and government forces has caused enough grief and created so many orphans and widows. He also called for immediate ceasefire and negotiations to bring the fighting to a permanent end. Atiku added that if the insurgents are truly committed to God and his religion, then it was high time they had a rethink over the violent activities against innocent people. Now, the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon says it is determined to help Nigeria and other countries in Africa fight terrorism following a series of deadly attacks. Speaking in Nairobi, the capital of Kenya, Ban Ki-moon says he had discussions with Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta about how the UN and Kenyan government can work together in countering heinous attacks. He said their talks covered major political and security issues concerning counterterrorism across Africa. He also recalled his commitment to the Nigerian government on the fight against terrorism.
This case, abduction of more than 200 schoolgirls. That is again very sad and tragic things. I have dispatched my special envoy twice to meet with the President Jonathan Goodluck, and we have proposed a certain support package to help those families and the victims when they are released. In any way, we have to address this one very much comprehensively. Not one single country or single organization can handle this alone. I adopted this lion cub with the hope that all human beings and wildlife animals, they can live in peace and harmony. A human being should know how to live harmoniously with our Mother Nature.
Ekiti is back in the news even as the June 21 governorship election in the state has been adjudged the first and fairest recently. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is being commended over its performance. The successful outing was attributed to the scientific approach to political matters by INEC and politicians. The state correspondent Rashid spoke with the National Commissioner of INEC. Details here.
Commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Lai Olurode, said that elections in Nigeria is no more a game as usual, but a scientific engagement for any serious-minded player in the electoral process.
Elections are more about science. They are also more about discretion, deployment of your discretion in ways that are helpful. What are the elements of a science of election? The first element of a science of election is predictability. Predictability is very important. You must be able to put your eyes on ground, you must be able to put your ears on ground, and you must be able to discern what are the forces that will shape the outcome of an election.
Olurode attributed the success of INEC in the just concluded governorship election in Ekiti State to its ability to play a neutral role in the emergence of the winner, a strategy he calls the science of believability.
A scientific process is that of believability. Of course, there have been governors that won elections before in this country and they were not able to celebrate. They couldn't even stay in the state where they won elections because Nigerians or the people in that state did not believe they actually won that election. You can look at the backlash after the event of June 21st. Everywhere was quiet because we didn't do any Caesarean election. It's not an election by Caesarean operation.
He boasts on the performance of INEC in the last election, noting that it can be replicated in every other election by any other team with the same desired result.
Repetitiveness. You know, in science, when you go to a laboratory, you do an experiment. It must be possible for another scientist other than you to repeat the same experiment and to come out with the same outcome. I can tell you if any other person from the moon, from Europe, from England, come to organize the election as we did on June 21, he or she will come to the same conclusion.
Now that the All Progressives Congress is heading to courts to challenge the election process, alleging a faulty process, many are questioning the decision of the APC, given that the election received both local and international commendation. Rashid, CoreTv News, Ado Ekiti.
Now, it's living condition that's making about 1,000 illegal African immigrants in Israel stage a protest towards the southern border with Egypt. Details just now. Please stay with us.
CoreTv News presents a platform with presence in over 30 states of the Federation. Be sure to be had. For live coverage of events, we have the capacity to deliver from anywhere in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us now on 0803 471 8550 or 0803 724 9733 014 533 407.
Our 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTv News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTv Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTv News, our 24-hour news station.
Now the rest of the news. About 1,000 illegal African immigrants in Israel staged a march towards the southern border with Egypt, and that's to protest against living conditions in their internment camp. The protesters who were allowed out during the day said in a statement that their march was in protest against their inhuman and unlimited detention in the Holot camp. Holot houses some 2,300 immigrants. The demonstrators say they were demanding to be able to leave Israel and called on the UN Refugee Agency and the international community to take charge of their cases so they can immigrate to a third country.
We are going to leave Israel. We don't want to stay in Israel. So this is our aim. The army stopped us yesterday when we tried to reach to the fence and to cross to the other side to go back to Africa. Let them kill us in Africa. It is better than stay in Israel here, and every day you get persecution from the public, from the government official.
We'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I'm Tolu Ojewumi. Good afternoon. Up next, Code Digest. Stay with us.